What's going on, guys? It's the Faz. Welcome back to another NBA 2K video. We are out here today with part 4 of the Rebuild God Challenge, working now with the 1970-1971 Los Angeles Lakers. I am so excited to do this team today here. One of my favorite players of all time, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, who I know we just did the Lakers video from 64, so this is a bit of an older version of Jerry West. I might be looking to trade him and just kind of build this team around Chamberlain, somebody else. Gail Goodrich, an older Elgin Baylor. The computer automatically signs Urepko and Beasley fill out the roster to do with this team. But this is a roster I'm excited about. I'm really excited to see how Wilt Chamberlain in NBA. We're going to first start off with, I want to try to keep the team kind of the way it is, but I just want to see early on what I could get for Goodrich and Elgin Baylor, just because I think that they're two high value guys, even though Baylor's 37. He has 2-star trade value, so that's not bad. So let's kind of flip through these trade offers here and see what we end up with. Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, that's not bad. See, Goodrich could be like a 20-point-a-game scorer, but he's a 6'1" shooting guard. That doesn't really, it's not really modern. Chris Middleton, it's really not a bad move at all. And we get Ilyasova. We have to give up a first-round pick, but Chris Middleton. We don't need Drummond or Capella. Oladipo and Doug McDermott. That's not a bad trade either. Blake Griffin, Luke Kennard. I actually don't really hate this either. DeMar DeRozan. I really want to do this Chris Middleton trade, but I'm pretty sure I've done Chris Middleton twice already. If not, I just did him in the last video. So maybe we'll do this Oladipo trade just to do something different. Let me see what we could get for just Gail Goodrich. If not, I do think I'm going to do that Oladipo trade. I think the Chris Middleton trade is smart, but we just did Chris Middleton, so I'd like to try to do something different. Just Gail Goodrich, though. We could essentially do the same trade and keep Elgin Baylor. You know what? I think we're going to go ahead and do this trade. We just did Chris Middleton, the Bucks rebuild. And plus, I think Oladipo's a really good player. I'm going to go through and make a couple of just really small, minor moves just to kind of get rid of these 2K generic players, and we will be back with the team. Alright, so I made a couple really minor moves. Signed Tyreek Evans, Shelvin Mack, just a couple backup players to fill out this bench. But we did go ahead and do a really quick trade for Jeremy Grant and Duncan Robinson. Didn't trade anybody crazy, just a couple super minor moves. I feel like Duncan Robinson's a good fit. He's always a good fit on any team, good three-point shooting. Jeremy Grant, he's a solid 3-and-D modern power forward to play alongside Wilt Chamberlain. I'm really not expecting much from this team this season. I'm not expecting more than maybe like a 5 through 8 seed. I think we're going to be a playoff team, but I'm really not expecting anything too crazy out of this team. And there's a couple reasons for that. I mean, our two best players are over 33 years old. Chamberlain's 35. I'm pretty sure West is 33. Oladipo is going to be okay. Like I said, I'm just really not expecting anything too crazy from this team. I think they'll be solid all around, but I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see what the coming weeks been. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this roster really quickly just to get our starters some solid minutes. I think Chamberlain 34 minutes is good. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling this. I think this is good. Okay, so this is going to be the rotation for now. I'm going to sim to the All-Star break and to around the trade deadline. Don't be surprised if I look for a move for Jerry West, if I try to find a nice trade for Jerry West. Let's just go check our coaching system really quickly. You know what? I always hate these generic coaches they put in the game. So let's do... Yeah, that works. Okay. So, welcome to the team, coach. System proficiency... I think it was fine with whatever it was. 7 seconds. Defense. Balanced. Duncan Robinson's really not loving the spacing pace. Okay, I think we're just going to roll with that system. I think that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and simulate up to... Why can't you see the trade deadline? It'll come up. We're going to sim to around the All-Star break. I'll come back with the team. Don't be surprised if I try to find trade for Jerry West. Yeah, so I kind of figured this would take more than one season. We're 12-18 at the end of December. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I'm going to pause it at the end of December, just take a look at some stats. I really thought that we'd at least be 500 around this point. I don't know if it's a defensive issue, if it's just our best players are old, lack of scoring. This team's going to need a serious makeover in the offseason. I do plan on keeping the one play. I do plan on keeping Will Chamberlain, unless I could get something insane for him. But I don't think Will Chamberlain's going to go anywhere. Jerry West, on the other hand, I'm not opposed to moving him just because we did Jerry West in another video. All right, so we're 14-20. Not what you like to see from the best teams of all time. Jerry West actually our leading scorer. Will Chamberlain, man, 16 points but 19 rebounds. Shooting 38% from the field. Is he the problem? Is Will Chamberlain the problem here? Victor Oladipo, 18 points. He's playing all right. Looks like an offensive problem. Our next scorer is Duncan Robinson's not playing well. We have a serious issue on offense. So, let me see what we can do for Jerry West. Let's see what. Okay, this helps us in a couple of areas. This trade actually helps us in a couple areas because this helps our offense a lot. Obviously. You can play Ben Simmons at the 3, flip Tobias Harris for a point guard next to Oladipo, keep Simmons at the point, play Tobias at the 4, trade Duncan Robinson for a 4, keep Tobias at the 3. Okay, this is a good trade too. Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown. These are the only 2 trade offers. That's tough, man. Let me just... I don't want to do it, but I want to see what we can get for him. See, the trades aren't as good. Nope. Oladipo. See what we can do for Victor Oladipo. I do think I'm going to do one of those 2 trades for Jerry West, though. Chris Middleton. It's going to haunt me, man. It's going to haunt me. Nothing really. Gil Goodrich back. How's he doing, by the way? 20 points, 42% from 3. I didn't like the fit. All right. I'm going to do one of these 2 trades. I don't know which. Elgin Baylor's not doing anything. It really depends. Like, Jaylen Brown is so good. But I feel like I got to do this trade. Welcome to the team, Ben Simmons. That was... Wow. We just traded Jerry West away. Okay, so the question now is, do I want to keep Ben Simmons at point guard? Because a Ben Simmons Will Chamberlain team is insane, but... It depends what we... I mean, let's do this. Let me see what I can get for Duncan Robinson first. I'm going to try to get a power forward in place of him. If not, I'll consider moving Tobias Harris, and depending on what I get for him is what I do with Ben Simmons. Yeah, see, I'm not really seeing anything crazy for him. Devontae Graham, that's actually a good trade. We could flip him for someone better. Not really seeing any 4s, though. Let's see what we do with, let's see what a Tobias Harris trade brings us. If I could get a good, like, okay, see, now that is a great trade right there, because that is an improvement for less money for Tobias Harris. But keep that in the back of our minds right now, because if I can find a point guard, Gil Goodrich, bring Gil Goodrich back. John Wall. No, I think we have to go with this trade. Okay, so I think we just made this team astronomically better. I'm gonna play around, make some minor moves just to upgrade the bench and stuff like that, and I'm gonna come back at the trade deadline just to show you guys what the team looks like. But I really don't see it being that much different aside from a couple bench pieces. All right, guys. So I did have this trade come up on my trade finder. Super minor trade, but I mean, it's Tyreek Evans for Devontae Graham, who's scoring 18 points a game. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and accept that trade right there really quickly. I think Devontae Graham's going to be a really nice piece off our bench. We're going to give him more minutes than that, but he's essentially going to be our backup guard. I feel bad because Whitehead's just having such a great season. We'll leave some mints for him, but Devontae Graham, man, 18 points a game. That was such a great trade finder move. See, trade finder comes up clutch like that sometimes. I really wish you could find a bit of an upgrade over Greg Monroe and Luke Mbamute. The front court needs some work out there. Let me see if we could, this Keith Erickson guy, dude, he's not even playing, man. Let me see if we could find some sort of a really quick upgrade at like a 4-5 or something like that. Since we have Glenn Robinson, you know, let me see what we could do. Jay Crowder, that's actually, no, we have Glenn Robinson though, and I kind of want that to, I like him a lot. Let's see if we can find something for Greg Monroe. See, Keith Erickson's a 75 overall, 2-star trade value. It's not terrible, but I really don't know what kind of upgrade we're going to be able to find. I mean, Alex Len's got to be an upgrade over Monroe, but Monroe's not playing that badly. I'm just trying to find super minor upgrades we can make for the bench, because now we're playing better, man. Like, I'm going for it all this season, honestly. Yeah, Jeremy Grant's playing okay. Let's see if we could do a sign, like, I don't have, we got no money. Okay, let's do, I'm gonna see what I can get for Devontae Graham, just to see if I can find an upgrade at the backup guard spot. But I do really like him. I do intend on keeping him. I just want to see if we find anything, like, you know, crazy that pops up. Derek White. No, I think we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna try one more time, see if I can find a little upgrade. I'm okay with Glenn Robinson in the third. We're gonna try one more time just to see if we can get an upgrade. Ilyasova, that's not a bad upgrade. We did manage to get Jeremy Grant back, by the way. Super minor trade that we made, but we were in fact able to get him back. I don't know, I'm kind of okay with Mbamute, but let's get Ilyasova. Let's get that 3-point shooting back off the bench. Able to get Ersan Ilyasova back. Let's call you up from the G League. Let's drop you. And honestly, we're looking like a championship team. We got Lance Stevenson on a minimum contract. Let's see if we can get J.R. Swish on a minimum contract. Guys, I think we're all set. I think the record doesn't really show, but I legitimately think that we have built ourselves up into a finals contender. Let's make sure we get Ilyasova some minutes. Whitehead, my dude, I'm sorry, man. I'd honestly rather J.R. Smith get minutes, and that's the truth. Let J.R. Smith get like 6 minutes, and I'm pretty okay with that rotation. I think, yeah, I'm okay with this rotation. I'm gonna go ahead and sim, honestly, past the trade deadline. We're gonna sim right to the playoffs, and let's see. We're 22-24 right now. Let's see how much we improve. All right, season 1. We're nearing closer to the playoffs. Honestly, I thought this was gonna be a multi-season rebuild, but we might be able to win the chip right here. We're 45-31. We were 12-19, I believe it was, and then I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to trade Jerry West, but to get Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, which essentially became Ben Simmons and Chris Middleton for Jerry West, like, how could you say no to that trade? I think we did a really good job of building up this team, and Jerry West is one of those players that, like, iffy on him playing in the modern NBA. I'm a little surprised at Chamberlain. I thought he'd be better offensively. I'm weighing about whether or not it's because he's 35 years old or just because his game hasn't properly translated, but we finished the season with a 48-34 record. Giannis Antetokounmpo is your MVP. Ja Morant, Rookie of the Year. Again, I haven't seen this before. It's the second rebuild I've done in a row where Yusuf Nurkic is Sixth Man of the Year. Kawhi Leonard, Defense Player of the Year. Luka, Most Improved Player. And Mike Budenholzer of the Milwaukee Bucks is your Coach of the Year, even though we robbed Chris Middleton from them. Let's see if we get any All-NBA team honors. We get All-NBA team, Wilt Chamberlain, All-NBA 3rd team, 15 points, 17 rebounds. I don't like that, though. Look at that. 39% from the field, almost 40%. I expected more, man. Wilt Chamberlain, All-Defensive 1st team. That's encouraging. And then 2 to our backcourt. Both of our backcourt players on the all-defensive second team. And this is actually pretty crazy because 4 of the 5 all-defensive second team players are Lakers. And, you know, obviously you have the new Lakers with Davis and LeBron, but that's just crazy right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some player stats. We did manage to get the 5th seed. We're taking on the Nuggets in the first round. Let's take a look at some player stats and see how we did. Ben Simmons was our leading scorer, about 21 points, around 8 assists. Shooting wise, 65% from the field. Chris Middleton, second leading scorer, 20 points, 45% from 3. Oladipo had a pretty good season coming off an injury. Devontae Graham, man, one addition, he was 17 points off the bench, and then there is the rest of the team right there. I think our bench definitely could have been a little bit stronger if we don't win the championship this season. It looks like we have Devontae Graham has that rookie deal, so it looks like all of our best players are under contract going into next season. I know Devontae Graham's is 1 year, but his is like that. He has that player or that team option, so he's gonna stick around. If it doesn't work out this season, we will have the opportunity to go into the off season to check out and build that bench a little bit. So let's go ahead and simulate the first round here, and we will see how far we get in the playoffs. All right, everyone, it's come down to this game 7 of the conference finals, Lakers versus Lakers, to play the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into this game here. Building up a solid, oh my God, do we even have to jump into play? 124-97, taking down the Lakers to go to the NBA Finals. LeBron 32-8, but we just, look at this, man. Look at this offense. Greg Monroe 15-10. Greg Monroe came in clutch. Wilt Chamberlain 20-17. Ben Simmons a triple-double, 16-10-12. The front court, the big players were just dominating. We might not even have to go into the offseason here. We are in the NBA Finals right now, taking on the Brooklyn Nets, and it is 2-2 right now. We're gonna have to start doing some Simcast games right here. I honestly really didn't think this would. I didn't think it would be like this. We're just gonna go for it here. I might jump in and just do some gameplay, but if I don't have to, I won't, just for the sake of time in this video. No, we're gonna jump into this game with 3 minutes left. 103-101. Oh boy. Okay, so this team, we went from 12-19 to not even being a 500 team with Jerry West. This is why it's the Rebuild God Challenge, because we completely rebuilt this team. Got Ben Simmons, Chris Middleton. We're able to bring back Jeremy Graham, brought in Victor Oladipo. Alright, so this is going to be kind of an interesting insight into how Wilt Chamberlain plays in the modern NBA. This is the thing that I like about these rebuilds a lot, and I said it in the Celtics video, and even the Lakers video I may have mentioned it too. Just seeing how players from this early era would play in the modern NBA. And I know we kind of completely changed around the team a little bit, so it's not totally accurate, but come on, Ben. Come on, Ben. It's not completely accurate, but, you know, obviously it's a video game simulation, but just kind of getting an idea of how they would match up against modern NBA players. So we're going to go ahead and give it a Wilt. Come on, Wilt. Use that body, man. 100 points in the game. 100 points in the game. Wilt Chamberlain to me is, I don't know where he ranks on my top 10 list. You know what? I think I'm going to make a separate video about that. I'm going to make another video. Go ahead and check out that video whenever I post it. You have to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and sub. Really trying to help grow this channel. But I am going to do a top 10 all-time video. Wilt Chamberlain for me is probably like 6 or 7 though. I think for the best center of all time, you're gonna go Kareem, Shaq, and Wilt. I think that's in that order, the top 3, because Wilt was just so dominant. But you talk about not playing in this era, and I think that applies to Wilt Chamberlain more than any other player in NBA history. Just because his only real competition was Bill Russell, and that is, you know, Bill Russell's a solid, you know, he's a great defensive player, but besides Bill Russell, who else was there of that size in that era? Bill Russell wasn't really an offensive player, so that was why you didn't really see the offensive stats like that. But I don't know, it's a different ball game when you come down to it. It's tough though, because I feel like Wilt Chamberlain would still be dominant in the modern NBA. He's just, you know what I mean, man? He's just like, just a huge physical presence. Oh, nice block, DeAndre. He's just a huge physical presence. I think his raw talent and athleticism is one of those things that would translate over. I don't really think it's his style of play. I think that's the area that's more of concern with how it would translate in the modern NBA. But I mean, look at that, man. Like, you know, he missed the shot, but that's just brute size and force right there. He's one of, by far, the most physically dominant players in the history of professional sports. And man, I wish I was alive in that era. I say this more about this era than any other era in basketball. I legitimately wish I was alive in this era just to watch guys like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Bob Pettit, who I wish that his Hawks were in this game. I'm excited till we get to the 70s. I believe they're in this game, like the Pete Maravich Hawks. Man, just a completely different style of basketball. There was no three-point shooting, like, oh my gosh, there was all plays like that, like just driving and cutting to the basket. You didn't have a 6'10" point guard, but just a completely different era of basketball. Well, Chris, it's interesting to see like how the team does when you kind of pick and plug modern NBA players into these old school eras. Like, I mean, Ben Simmons and Wilt Chamberlain, like, who would have thought that duo? But they're, you know, carrying this team to the championship right now. We got a 5-point lead right now with about a minute left. We got this game. We're gonna try to win the championship at home in the next one. But I mean, that's what's so interesting about this rebuilds. I've been looking at 2K YouTube. I'm surprised more people haven't done videos like this, like just seeing if these teams would, like, how they would do. Like, I feel like as an NBA fan, I'm so curious to see, like, what would Wilt Chamberlain do in the modern NBA? Like, what would this team look like? How would he perform? And he, you know, all defensive first team, and that's a testament to his defensive presence. But it kind of makes me want to flip this backwards a little bit and see how, like, modern players are doing that era. I gotta try to scrounge around the 2K share files and see if there's like a 1970s roster or something like that, because like what would LeBron, what would Ben Simmons, what would Giannis, what would those guys look like in the 70s? They'd probably just dominate. I feel like this era, the reason why guys like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, why they stood out, why they're cemented as all-time greats, is because players just weren't athletic back then. And I think that's what it really came down to, just a lack of athleticism. Like Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, this team, for example, two of the best players of all time. Zero athleticism, no athleticism whatsoever. Wilt Chamberlain dominated the NBA because he was athletic. Then we did the Celtics video. Look at guys like Sam Jones and John Havlicek. We were getting crushed by the Celtics, by the Clippers in the finals when we did that rebuild because of just a lack of athleticism. And I think it would hurt teams in the 70s if you picked and plugged LeBron, Giannis, even someone who's like moderately athletic, like Chris Milton, for example, moderately athletic. He would tear it up in the NBA in that era. The players now are just built. Oh my God, Kyrie Irving had 50 points. Kyrie Irving's another example, moderately athletic. He would probably do this every night. Wilt Chamberlain, 16-20. Okay, so we have one more game to win the championship, but it's just crazy how different basketball was at that time. And it comes down to a couple things. It comes down to three-point shooting and athleticism. And those are two of the biggest components of the game today. If you can't shoot the three-point ball, and if you're not athletic, you're probably an average player, save for, I mean, I don't even know. I can't really think of anybody that is genuinely unathletic or that can't shoot like Jahlil Okafor, I guess. I don't know why he was the first name that came to my mind of someone who's moderately athletic and can't really shoot the three-point ball. I don't know. I can't even really think of anybody else. Like DeAndre Jordan, I guess. Well, he's pretty athletic. I guess you could think of Dwight Howard. Well, he was athletic, but now, like, after his injury, not... I'm trying to think of, like, Al Jefferson. I think Al Jefferson is a really good example. Couldn't shoot the three-point ball, not really athletic, peaked in the 2000s, but, you know, in this era of three-point shooting athleticism, there's nothing. I mean, the game just isn't... I don't know why I did this. I want to sim ahead. The game is just, like... I feel like it just doesn't translate for guys like that at all, and that's the reason why somebody like Jahlil Okafor just their game hasn't. Oh my God, we're blowing them out. Why their game hasn't translated well at all into this new era of basketball. We're gonna go ahead and jump in. We're up by like 30. But it is pretty crazy though how you think of guys like that were so dominant in even as recently as the early 2000s, and how their games are just nothing. Like, there's so many players like that. So many. And it's crazy just how much basketball has changed. I think one of the reasons basketball has changed so much is guys like, I guess Steph Curry's an example of this, but how much or how important three-point shooting has become to the NBA. And I really think Steph Curry played a big part in that. I don't like Curry, not a fan of the Warriors, not a fan of Curry at all, but I had a discussion with someone the other day, and the discussion was, who are the most influential basketball players in history in terms of what players have had the most impact on the game? And as much as I don't like him, Steph Curry. Steph Curry completely revolutionized the game of basketball. Look at footage from as early as like 2007, 2008. Look back at the Celtics and the Lakers in the NBA Finals when they played each other in 2008. That entire series was mid-range basketball and post-up basketball. Kobe Bryant, mid-range shooter. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, mid-range shooting. Aside from Ray Allen 3, it was just get to the basket and shoot the mid-range. Everything from like 2011, 2012 on was just three-point shooting. And you had guys like James Harden, Steph Curry, and they've played such a huge part in that. So I think Steph Curry is one of the 4 most influential players in the history of basketball. And the revolutionizing of the game into a three-point shooting league is not solely, but really mainly because of Steph Curry and how he came in just as a pure shooter and dominated, revolutionized the game of basketball. Other players on that list, LeBron just because he's LeBron, and the same thing goes for Michael Jordan. They both were revolutionized the game in terms of star power, like being the best player and dominating the league for each of them respectively 10 plus years. And then it's, I'd say 5 players probably, because Bird and Magic. I mean, you could look at players before that, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Kareem, but Bird and Magic made the game popular. They made the game popular. Jordan took it over and gave the league star power it's never seen. LeBron was the heir to the throne, and Steph Curry revolutionized the game into something it's never been before. You look at the NBA now, teams shoot threes more than they shoot twos. I mean, that's just the way the game has become. So, back to the point of this team, it'd be really interesting to see how players from that era, like this team, like the 70s Lakers would play, and even vice versa, how players from this era would play then without a three-point line. Like, how would Steph Curry fit into a league like this where there's no three-point line? He'd probably be a liability just pulling up long-range twos. Like, what's the point of that when you could just get to the basket, when you could have a guy like Wilt Chamberlain, for example. And even though Jerry West is regarded as one of the great shooters of all time, he was also a really great defensive player and just a finessing passer. Steph Curry is not really, I mean, Steph Curry puts on flashy passes, but I don't see him as like a great playmaker the way Jerry West was. And I think that's kind of the story. So I don't know how he would, but you look at like Ben Simmons, Giannis, LeBron. Now I'm not saying Ben Simmons is as great as Giannis and LeBron, but you look at them, how would they translate into this era? They would just dominate. They would be 50-point, 20 rebounding game players easily. I gotta try to look for the 2K files. Remember this. If you're watching the video, remember this, because I'm gonna try to find a file of all 70s teams and pick and plug. Maybe I'll just do the Lakers, like the LeBron Lakers, or maybe I'll do specific players. I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure that out. Try to see how those players would play in an era like this. But this is unbelievable that we did this in one season, man. 12 and 19. and we traded the best player on our team. Sometimes trading your best player works. We traded the best player on our team, and we ended up with Ben Simmons and Chris Middleton. Fixed up the bench. The point of this Rebuild God Challenge was to do it in 3 years. 3 of the 4 videos we've done in the first season. It's unbelievable. We're going to take a look at stats, playoff stats, things like that. But remember that, because I do want to do a video where I see if it's possible, if I could see how modern players would fit into the old NBA, into like the old school 60s, 70s, back to the basket, just minutes long possession gameplay. The shot clock, there has to be a setting to turn or adjust the shot clock, turn it off, something like that. I'm sure there is, but let's take a look at these stats right here. Ben Simmons just dominated 34, 9, 16. Chamberlain 18 and 15. We're going to take a look at the playoff stats. I can't believe we did this again. The next video, my next video, I'm excited for. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can check out the next video is going to be. We're doing the Knicks with Wilt Frazier, Willis Reed, Earl the Pearl Monroe. I'm excited to do that video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. And drop a like on this video so this channel can continue to grow and more people can see it. Let's take a look at the playoff stats. And Ben Simmons, 22 and 10. I'm so glad we got him. Wilt Chamberlain, 16 and 16. I'm so glad we got Ben Simmons and Chris Middleton, though, because they were such huge components and huge parts to this team. So that's the 1970-1971 Los Angeles Lakers Rebuild God Challenge, Part 4 of the Rebuild God Challenge series. All it took was trading Jerry West and we won the finals. See, sometimes you can trade your best player, but make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of the best NBA 2K content. Part 5 of the Rebuild God Challenge, Part 5 of the Rebuild God Challenge is coming out this week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel again so you don't miss out on that. I am going to try to find a way to do a video where I could put modern NBA players into the old school NBA era so we can figure out how to do that. What players do you think would dominate in the 70s era, or what 70s era players do you think would dominate in the modern NBA? Comment down below, let me know what you think. And that's really it. We'll be back next time for the Rebuild God Challenge. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back. Peace out.